tryna be like nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. No, I ain't tryna be like nobody else. Cause I'm having too much fun tryna be myself. No, I'm not the type of chick that like to follow trends. I got a small circle, no, don't need a lot of friends. You know I gotta get this money cause I like to spend. I see you haters watching, so I just give you a grin.
How you guys doing? It's your girl Lime Diamond. I'm back with another episode of Justheretovent. If you could ask me, or if I could tell you why I was so silly, I wouldn't have an answer because, yeah, I'm a clown for sure. I'm getting ready to do my review for Season 4, Raising Kanan. I said Season 4. I'm at Season 2, Episode 4, Raising Kanan. I finished watching the episode this morning after I got off of work. I know some of the other reviews already been put up there. Already done did their recaps. Yes, we a little bit late, you know what I'm saying? But it gets greater later, you know what I'm saying? So, alright, now we start off with the episode. They showing how Rock is going to be transporting her drugs, trying to, set up shop over there in Jersey. They stuffing the stuff in the truck. They got it hidden inside of the walls of the truck. And basically, when they try to get past, this guy wasn't getting out the way. He was an Italian, obviously. That's their neck of the woods. They kind of own that area, whatever. And they got the worker out of the truck. They beat him down to the ground, almost to inch within his life. And now, they're getting all of these calls. They showing Marvin getting the calls from the people that's working for them in Jersey, letting them know, something happened. They wasn't able, to transport it. Then Lulu was getting the calls, and they both basically saying the thing. Lulu saying call Marvin, Marvin saying call Lulu, then they saying call Rock. So, they kind of don't really want to be bothered with it. Now, Marvin is actually out of town. He's up there. He went to go take Kanan up there to go see his quote-unquote uncle, which we all know that that's not his real uncle because his actual dad is Malcolm. So he took him up there to go see him. Kanan is trying to get some answers, trying to figure out, who he is, who his dad really is, if Defcon really was his dad, shit like that. And, his uncle, Vernon, wasn't really saying too much. He was just saying, don't let nobody tell you that that's not your dad, yada, yada, yada. He wasn't talking about too much. And then when Kanan got back in the car, Marvin kind of expressed to him, hey, I know we not perfect, speaking about him, Rock, and Lulu, but, we the only family you got. We the only ones that really matter. Basically trying to tell him, don't pay no attention to Vernon. Now, it don't really seem like Lulu and Marvin know that Defcon is not Kanan's dad, so we're kind of I don't know, they haven't exposed whether or not that they know that information. So we move on from that, and then we go on to Jukebox. Jukebox is, she finally got the courage to go speak to her mom. She went up to her house, her mom let her in, they started talking, but Jukebox is way past pleasantries. You understand what I'm saying? She gets straight to the point of asking her mom, why'd you leave me? And her mom was like, okay, you don't waste any time. She basically let her know, hey, I wasn't really sure about your dad and everything like that. I wanted to be a singer. I was very, very young. I thought I was going to go to L.A., pursue music, make it, and, get rich, come back and get you. Those were her plans, and as we all know, plans don't work out, and those plans certainly didn't work out. So Juke is listening to her and everything like that, and, her mom is trying to ask her basically for another chance, give her the opportunity to be there for her. Juke seems like she's willing to give her a chance. So we move on from that storyline. We get back into the studio. Well, no, we let's move over to Rock. Rock, she's talking to Cartier, and they having a good little conversation. He's talking about all this art and all this crap. But the real tea is that Cartier basically washes his money and make his money clean through the art world. So he's telling Rock about it. Basically, I guess maybe he's trying to either get into business with her or help her clean her money in some way, because, she just got her money sitting there getting ate by the rats at the bodega. So they had a little conversation. He was like, yeah, I like you because you're smart. And it seems like they might be getting ready to do some business soon. Now, they finally had a meeting, Rock, Lulu, and, well, before they had a meeting, Lulu, he had to yoke up Crown. And Crown gonna realize to stop playing with Lulu because he think Lulu's sweet out here. We all know Lulu is not sweet. Now, he might be a little soft, meaning he don't like to kill, but we all know that he will if he have to. So he had to yoke him up because Crown is out here, you know, being bad business, messing shit up. He's sitting there selling the keyboard, and he know that was what Lulu was using to make his music and his beats on. So Lulu was basically telling him, like, you know, I'm a little agitated right now. Don't do nothing else like this, you know. And that's Crown's warning to stop playing around with Lulu. So now we get to the meeting that they having is Marvin, Rock, and Lulu. They talking about what happened in Jersey, and you know they trying to figure out what their next move is. Kanan is there for the meeting, but you know they not letting him in the room. They not letting him listen because you know his uncle still treating him like your kid. His mom didn't really want him listening to the conversation. In the midst of all of this, the whole house is thinking. And if you remember, I think at the top of or mid towards the end of season 1, you remember Marvin killed that guy and stuck him in the wall, so that's why the house stinks so bad. And they trying to do the air freshener, but you know ain't no air freshener gonna be sitting there getting rid of the smell of no dead body. They gonna have to figure something out, and they gonna have to get rid of that body out of the house, or you know shit's gonna be fucked up for them. So they talking about it. You know, Rock is basically letting them know, like, you know, I'm not going to let y'all tell me how to do my business. She's still playing her power moves, letting them know, like, you know, she the one in charge. Y'all going to stop playing with me. And she was saying, I think one of the funniest lines that had me cracking up, she going to say, let's set up a meeting with these piece of motherfuckers. That shit had me screaming. I'm like, pizza, you know, because they Italians, you know, they are definitely known a lot of the times for having, you know, front businesses, which are pizza shops. So I thought that was funny that they put that line in there because, you know, she being like a little bit racist. That was funny. So before they get to the meeting, Kanan is also in their house and he smelled everything. So he opened the closet door and the smell become worse because you know that's where the body is, right in that wall. He saw some Nike shoe boxes in there. He thinking of sneakers. He pulled up one pair was actual pair of slip and slides in there. Then you go to the next box, it was a lot of money. So he took some money out of there. He took a nice little stack. And, you know, he got up out of there. He got up out of Dodge. Now, we're going to later see in the episode that he used that money to give to Famous. Clearly, Famous is really his boy if he willing to steal from his own mom for him. And he helped Famous get his place. Now, Jude, you know, she go back to her house. Marvin was trying to, like, fix up the house for her. He done painted her room. He done put some pictures up on the wall for her. You know, he's really trying to extend that olive branch and try to, you know, rebuild their relationship. But Juke is just not having that shit. After what he did to her, you know, putting his hands on her, you know, not accepting the fact that she's a lesbian, which we're going to see how that's going to go and how her mom's going to take that, considering that her mom is in the church. But we're going to get back to that. So she just grabbed some clothes and she leave. So we fast forward, we at Famous house. Famous having a little kickback, a little party, like a celebration, kind of like an apartment warming, house warming, whatever. And, you know, they all there. It's live. Music is bumping. You know, they drinking, they smoking, they doing whatever it is they need to do. Then you get a knock on the door. It's a girl and her mom. Kanan thought that they were sisters because the mom does look really, really young. They basically letting them know, like, hey, y'all need to cut the music down because the neighbor going to probably call the cops on y'all. And, you know, the daughter invited herself to stay, and her mom allowed it. But she was looking at Kanan like she going to end up giving him them cheeks later on, you know. So we're going to see what's going to happen with that. I'm sure Kanan probably ain't no stranger to, you know, later on messing with older women. So I'm pretty sure he's going to end up hitting that older lady too. So the daughter come in there, they partying, they having a good time. They start kissing on the couch. Crown shows up, you know, he's showing love. He like, oh, this is a good party, you know, they getting it popping. Then we cut back to Rock. And she pulls up on Juke. Juke got her hair down. You know, she looking at herself differently now that she done ran into her mom. I guess she's trying to figure out what it is and how she's going to portray herself when she go to church. Because I guess her mom, they didn't show that part, but I guess her mom invited her to go to church. So she was looking for an outfit to wear for church. So she let Rock know that she ran into her mom. And her mom, you know, was telling her the story about, you know, how she left her and why she left her. And Rock was like, well, did she come find you? And, you know, Juke is like, no, you know, I found her. I was looking for her. And Rock doesn't seem like she's too happy about Juke reconnecting with her mom. So we're going to see how that's going to play out later. And she basically told Juke, like, hey, just because you got a bloodline, you still need to earn that title of family. So, you know, Juke is kind of just looking at it like she don't really understand what she's saying. But I'm sure we're going to figure out what she really meant by that later on. Now we come back to the house, you know, Kanan making out with the girl, and Juke gets there to the house. And then she see Crown there, and Crown was like, hey, Juke, I was looking for you. And, she already a little bit salty about the last episode when he was trying to tell her to change her image. So she's like, oh, what you looking for me for? So he gives her a tape basically saying, like, he got something for her. He wanted to record. He's saying he feels like it's something that could really work for her, So that kind of made her feel like a little bit better, probably about the comments that he made in the last episode about her appearance and how, she's not going to be able to sell herself with the image that she has right now. Now, we keep going through the episode. Unique comes back into the bodega. He acting like he flirting with Juliana, and, she's terrified. She's scared because the last time she saw Unique, he was holding her at gunpoint, and he was making her rob Rock. And he's basically saying, like, they even now, it's just business, nothing is personal. And then we later see Unique sitting there talking to Warrell. Now, didn't I tell y'all this in the last episode that I posted, that Warrell is not to be trusted? Rock is making some bad choices. How you going to kill your most loyal person, Scrap, and then now you got you another shady character on your team? We know that he's a snitch. He is still working with Unique, and they doing their own thing. They basically in business with the Italians, quiet as it's kept. So they get through all of that. She sees him talking to him. I'm sure that Juliana, she saw who he was talking to, so I'm sure Juliana is going to let Rock know. So I hope that gets exposed before they end up doing Rock in the worst way. So now we got the meeting with the Italians. It's Rock, Lulu, and Marvin. There's 5, I think it's about 6 of them. They pull up. They talking. He kind of just basically let her know, you can't be doing business in my side of town without paying your soul. And Rock is basically like, well, I ain't see none of y'all up there in the ghetto or in the projects, so y'all ain't got no claim on that area. And he's letting her know, like, listen, just because you don't see me in these streets don't mean that I'm not in these streets, okay? So straight like that. Now, y'all know Italians is a different ball game, okay? So Rock is really pushing it now. She is becoming a little bit too big for her britches. So we get through that conversation. He gives her a piece of paper with the amount that he's expecting to receive if she's trying to do business over there in Jersey, and she don't even look at it. She just balled the paper up, and she said she declined. But before she said that, Lulu tried to speak up and apologize and say, we're sorry, we didn't. And she cut him off and said, we're not sorry. Rock is playing a very, 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 very dangerous game, especially for someone who's saying she's trying to protect her son, because as we know, those Italians will take out your whole family, probably while you watch. So I don't know, Rock seems like she's acting like she knows what she's doing, but the fact that we see what Warrell got going on and that she kills Scrap, it just seems like she doesn't know what she's doing, and she's still continuing to lie to Kanan about Malcolm being his dad. So they leave. She have a little conversation with Lulu and Marvin, like basically letting them know we ain't listening to shit them Italians saying. We gonna do what we want. We gonna set up shop. Now we changing the way we getting out there. They gonna use a short yellow school bus because they figuring like ain't nobody gonna be stopping no bus. But Unique has this intel because Warrell is his inside man. He's still working for Unique. He's a sucker. So I already told y'all that Warrell is a sucker, and I'm gonna be honest. I hope that they kill him off because he's starting to get on my nerves and he messing things all the way up. So she tells Lulu, like, basically, you need to get your head out your ass. You need to be out here doing what you're supposed to be doing. We a team, and if you want to be by yourself over there playing, you need to go play tennis. Basically saying if you want to do that studio thing, you can't be in this business too. You need to pick a side, pick what it is that you want to do. And Lulu was just like, these Italians play differently. We don't really know what we getting into. He basically feels like they're in over their heads. And honestly, I agree with Lulu. Rock doesn't want to listen to anything that our brothers are telling her or anybody else. She just feels like she has all of the answer. And clearly, we all know that she does not. So she asks Marvin, like, Marvin, are you scared? Marvin, like, I ain't scared of nothing. Lulu just looking at him like, come on, like, even you know that this isn't a good idea, which they did have that small little side conversation after Rock pulled off. Now we get back to Kanan and Juke. They have the little conversation about Juke, having a meet up with her mom. And, Kanan's interested in how that went. And she told him, like, it was just different. She felt like she knew her whole life just by looking into her eyes. She was saying she's going to go to church with her, And Kanan seems like he happy for his cousin that she finding out what's going on in her life and finding out a little bit more about herself. Now, Rock, she is out here looking at a house that she's trying to buy. she calls Symphony because we all know that he's into agriculture and we all know that he's an architect. So she's asking him about the house. She doing a little flirting with him and everything like that, playing, And Symphony is liking it, because he really loves Rock. He really fucks with her. But the difference is she's just using him. She's being manipulative, and all of those things. And he basically tells her, like, hey, stop calling me. You know what I mean? Because he wants more than what it is that she's offering. And he doesn't really want to be involved in whatever it is that she got going on. And she's telling him, like, look, you're a grown-ass man. I ain't forcing you to come here. You make your own choices. Basically letting him know this ain't his last time hearing from her. She's going to be calling his ass again at some point. And she's being manipulative to him because she knows that he's going to be there for her because he has feelings for her. But she's just using him. She doesn't want the same thing that he wants. So now we go back to the studio with Lulu. He's sitting there talking to Cartier. Cartier got him the keyboard and everything. Lulu said he just feel like everything is getting in his way. And to make the long and short of that situation, it seems like Cartier, he kind of is networking. He's trying to get his resources up when it comes to Lulu, when it comes to Rock. Everybody's having personal meetings about the other person, and, nobody's privy to the situation. Now, Rock is starting to think a little bit because she heard about Crown being at Famous's party, and she was just like, Dad, Crown kind of like, he everywhere. He doing the same thing. He networking. He also utilizing his resources, seeing who he can put in his back pocket, just like Rock doing. They all doing the same thing to each other, just in secret. So as they having a conversation, Cartier just like letting him know, like, hey, don't let nobody stand in your way. As long as you are needed, you're going to always be needed, basically, meaning you'll always be useful. So they had that little conversation. Now they planning on sending Worrell back out to Jersey to try to do another drop. Now, as we know, we come back up onto Unique. He's on the phone talking about this very same drop, and he's telling the Italians, which we all know that he's working with them, like, hey, that's my man, don't hurt him, but another drop is on his way. So, all right, cool. So now we know that Unique is working there. Now, Detective Burke, her nosy ass, she's really starting to get on my nerves. She pulls up on Unique. She's trying to get him with that whole good cop, bad cop routine, saying, like, if it were me, I want revenge. Not realizing that Unique ain't trying to hear nothing she's saying. Don't nobody talk to the law. Don't nobody care nothing about what you're saying. He not about to be no confidential informant for you, and he's not about to tell you anything. So he still keep flirting with her, talking about his linens, and he can get a nice little linen suit. He had me cracking up in that scene. It was so funny. But like I said, he had just got off the phone. I guess I'm assuming he was talking to the Italians or Worrell. He was talking to somebody about the drop that Rock is about to send back out there through the short yellow bus. So he let them know what she's going to be driving this time around, or sending somebody out there to drive this time around. Detective Burke, she left. She didn't get what she wanted from Unique. They sent Worrell out there, and I'm not going to lie. When they hit the back of Worrell's truck out there in Jersey, I thought for sure he was about to be on his deathbed. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I thought for sure it was over for him. Like, I'm not going to lie. So they do their thug thizzle out there in Jersey. Like I said, Worrell's still working with Unique. He's a shiesty individual. He's always been shiesty. And why Rock is so stupid is you can't sit there and put two and two together that Worrell is doing the same thing to you, infiltrating your gang and getting all of the intel and information on you. The same thing you did when you had Scrap go over there and act like he wanted to work for them. Are you this stupid? You acting like you so smart and you got all the answers, but you making a lot of stupid decisions, which I'm sure are going to come back to bite you in your ass sooner rather than later. Now, Kanan, he lied to his mom because fuck it, bitch, she lied to him. So he told her that, she only seen him in a brief moment, and she asked him where he was going. He said he was going to go hang with Famous, and she told him just be careful. And she looked out the window now. There's nothing like a mother's intuition. She feels like something is wrong, so she ends up following Kanan, and she sees that he pulls up on Malcolm's house. Malcolm sees that it's Kanan. He was shocked to see him, but then he told him, like, did a little head nod, like, basically, come on in the house, because Kanan's trying to find out who he is, too. He's trying to find out, is this really my dad? What do you really know about me? Probably trying to find out some answers about his mom, too. So I'm sure we're going to see all of that play out in episode 5 next week, which I'm super excited about, especially judging by the previews, because there's a lot going to be going on. Rock is playing around, though. Rock's going to get herself into some trouble. She's going to get herself hurt or somebody else in her family really close to her. We all know it's not going to be Kanan, but somebody, one of them brothers, they going to end up getting knocked off if she's not careful and she doesn't play her cards right. So she sees that that's happening. 50 Cent is narrating the episode, and they was just saying it's always about the past, the current, and the future, and basically about the choices that you make and which one of those three entities are going to win. And he was just saying that he doesn't know himself. So that's kind of where the episode ended off. There's going to be a lot going on. Episode 5, I'm glad it's starting to pick up with the action, and there's just a lot happening right now. So I'm definitely excited to see episode 5. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. Leave a comment, share if you care. I'm going to be doing my next review next week when the next episode comes out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.